Noah Schubert here for an SASN TV exclusive interview with owner of Capital Hoops, Mark Stern. Mark, 5th year of the Summer League, coming to a close. How are we feeling?
Feeling great. It's been a long summer. It's always kind of mixed emotions coming to the end because I'm ready for a break, but I know in a couple days I'll be really bored and wishing I was back in here. So, you know, that's usually the annual cycle.
Now we've been running hard since May 21st.
Yep.
It's been a long second half of May and a long June culminating on the first day of July.
For sure.
How are we feeling at the end of it? Are we relieved, or are we looking at it as it's a great season, but it's all coming to a close?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a great summer league. We expanded from 32 to 48 teams, had 2 locations this year, so there was, you know, a lot of moving parts and a lot of, you know, things have evolved and they're different. And, you know, I'm really happy with the growth and kind of where we're at. And, you know, it all comes to a close today.
And I wanted to talk about the expansion. It's the first real summer outside of regulation since the pandemic. Summer 21, heavily regulated. Even last summer was a little bit shaky, and now, in full swing, you add 16 teams and a whole nother school. Talk about those logistics. How are you pulling all that together?
Yeah, it wasn't easy. There were definitely some minor growing pains that, you know, not everybody saw, but I'm happy we did it. I think for the most part, the teams were happy with Annapolis Area Christian. It gave us an opportunity to, like I said, expand by, you know, 1.5 times. So a lot of new teams had the opportunity to join the Summer League. Typically in the past, it's the same teams every year. Maybe 2 or 3 or 4 teams will drop, and I'll have the flexibility to add 2 or 3 or 4 new teams. But to have I think we had 20 new teams this year, which we would never have the opportunity for unless something like this happened, where we expanded, had new gyms, and just a lot more time to accommodate the teams.
Now, one thing that's great about the Summer League is that you get teams that don't really get to play each other that often, or you get to explore old retro rivalries of the 80s, 90s, 2000s. What's that like with a fully expanded field, and you get teams that get to, you know, put on their helmets a little bit and go head to head?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, we have a big contingency from Virginia that would never see teams like John Carroll, which is, you know, 30 miles north of Baltimore, or St. Mary's Riken, which is, you know, way out there. I mean, there's a lot of, we had from Anne Arundel County, we had 6 teams this year. I mean, they would never play teams from Virginia, so we had just a lot of opportunity to, like you said, to kind of get some new blood in and some matchups. A lot of teams like to play teams they're not familiar with. You don't want to play teams that are in your league. You see them every year. You recruit the same kids. It kind of becomes cyclical. So to get, you know, just a new crop of teams in, I think it's very beneficial for everybody.
Now, Dematha has had a very busy past month and a half or so. Not only the Summer League, but the live period came through. Capital Hoops was in there as well. What does it mean to have something like this, a huge event at a cornerstone of the history of high school basketball here in the DMV area?
I mean, it's great. I mean, this place here where we sit today kind of speaks for itself. You know, I've been very blessed and kind of fortunate to do the things that I do here. I mean, I don't think there's any other gym in the DMV, maybe in the country, where you would want to run your summer basketball than a facility like this with the rich history that this place has. So, you know, it's been great for me. I think Dematha really appreciates kind of everything that we do here and kind of help them out. And I think all in all, it's, you know, it's just a great experience all the way around.
As we mentioned, 5th summer of the Summer League, and the sky's the limit with this. Is there any plans for the future, next summer 24 and looking onwards?
I don't know. I kind of take a week or two to relax and then sort of reassess, talk to some of the coaches involved, kind of get their feedback. And, you know, everyone has a different opinion on whether we should, you know, grow or go to 2 separate leagues with like kind of an A division and a B division, but it's hard. Like, the logistics are crazy. A lot of teams can't play on certain dates. So if you were to try to go to 2 divisions, like, everyone needs to be able to play so those matchups can come to fruition, which is not easy, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's also very costly to put a league like this together. There's so many different parties that get paid, so just the logistics is tough. Obviously, I'll figure it out, but it's not as easy as maybe a lot of people would assume to kind of pull all the strings and get it to work.
Now we've got the championship game today between the Tenley Tigers and the Dematha Stags, but first I want to point out or talk about the NIT tournament that you put together.
Yeah.
Brand new, using Annapolis Area Christian. Talk about that kind of expansion. That's kind of an unsung part of this whole tournament, is its secondary postseason.
For sure. So coming into the season, that wasn't even on my radar, the NIT. The folks who run the Annapolis Area Christian location, I got to give them a shout out. They hit me up a couple weeks ago and said, what do you think about all the teams that don't qualify for the playoffs being invited to like a secondary tournament up here? And I said, let's do it. Let's call it the NITs. I mean, the NIT kind of, that name is pretty synonymous with college basketball. It kind of speaks for itself. It's the people that don't qualify for the main tournament have a opportunity to play in a postseason environment. So I believe we had 13 teams play in the NIT tournament, and the Patriots from Wooten High School came out victorious last night. And they had a good regular season here. They lost a lot of close games, but I mean, I'd say they're one of the top 5 Maryland 4A teams in the state heading into next season. So, just because they were in the NITs, I would not sleep on them at all.
And now talking about the championship game that we'll have in just about an hour's time here, we have a great public-private matchup. Two powerhouses here in the area, Hyattsville, Maryland, and DC, the Tenley Tigers and the Dematha Stags. What are you looking forward to in this one?
I think the stars have kind of aligned. We got the league MVP taking on the 2-time reigning defending champions. I think it'll be, I mean, obviously Bullis was a big favorite coming into it, but I think we got 2 great teams here. Obviously Jackson Reed has a major size advantage, but Dematha has these feisty guards that get downhill and cause havoc and, just play 84 feet the whole way. And I think it's going to be a really good game. I think most people would say Jackson Reed is the favorite. They've kind of had an easy route throughout the playoffs, and they have a fairly distinct size advantage, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a really, really tough, gritty ball game.
And finally, 5th summer, as we mentioned a couple times, reflecting back on starting this in 2018 and looking where you are now, what does it feel like to have that legacy behind you and look towards the future as well?
I mean, it feels great. I think back to, the MVPs we've had throughout the years. We've now had 3 public school MVPs and 2 private school MVPs, even though the league has more private schools than public schools. So I think that says a lot about public school basketball. I also, every year I have 30 to 40 interns that work for me. So, I mean, we're approaching 175, 200 interns who have churned through here over the past 6 years, and I'm really proud of that. A lot of them have gone on to do really cool things. I think all in all, there's a lot of facets to it, but I think I'm proud of kind of what I put together. It takes a lot of work, and I'm really proud of what we got going on here.
Summer League coming to a close, and owner of Capital Hoops, Mark Stern, joining us for an exclusive interview. Noah Schubert taking you out today. Mark, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Noah. Appreciate it.